What is up, YouTube? Today I'm coming back at you with another DVD Blu-ray Pickups video, and I know I haven't done one of these in a while, or a Pickups video at all in a while, and I'll talk a little bit about why for a few seconds here. Basically, in some of my previous videos, if you've subscribed to my channel and you watch a lot of my videos, you'll know that I said that my new city that I live in doesn't really have a lot of used stores. Well, there was only really one, and they recently closed. About a month ago, Replays closed, and it was our used movie and video game store. So finding access to used video games is incredibly hard because there's no flea markets, there's no used stores, and there's not a lot of garage sales in the city. Like all year I've maybe seen one garage sale sign since I've lived here, and it's like practically impossible to get used video games here. So I haven't really been getting a lot of used video games, and I've been getting, very few video games at all because of that. So movies, on the other hand, I have been getting movies just because they're cheaper to buy in general than video games, and I've really, with the way I've been working and stuff, it's a lot easier to sit down and watch a movie than to sink 20 hours into a video game. So I do still play video games, I still do collect video games, I just not as actively anymore just because of, real life responsibilities and the difficulty of finding them in general. So let's just get right into the pickups. I've got 3 things on DVD and 4 things on Blu-ray. Some of these things on DVD are things that I was, skeptical about getting or couldn't get on Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray things I'm really excited about. So the first thing that I got on DVD is something that I really, really wanted, and I've been looking for a Blu-ray copy, but the Blu-ray is out of print and incredibly expensive. I think it's $60 to $50 to get the Blu-ray US release of this. The import version is still like $40, $45, and I thought about it, but I can get the DVD. I got this DVD copy for $5, and for $5, at least I get to watch the movie, and there's quite a bit of special features on this disc, so and it's surprisingly got Korean subtitles, which is really, really odd for a US release. So yeah, let's just show you what this is, and that is The Cable Guy. Now, The Cable Guy is a really, really funny movie. If you've never seen it, it's a comedy with Jim Carrey in it. He plays a cable man, and basically what he does is, he sets up cable for people, but he kind of has like these stalkerish delusions, and it's a really funny movie, and it's very, very underrated. I think I would consider this like a cult classic comedy, and I'm really upset that this doesn't have a Blu-ray in print anymore. But I'm just happy to own it in general. It's one of my comedies that I really, really like to watch, just because it so represents the time that this movie was made in, and has so well, and it's just kind of nostalgic, and I really like it. So I'm a big fan of this movie, and I'm really happy to have it. So, The Cable Guy. The next one I picked up is one I haven't actually seen. I do plan on watching it soon, though, so that is Man of Steel. So I picked up Man of Steel because I really wanted to get into the DC universe, and I wanted to watch them in order. So I haven't seen Man of Steel yet. I'm pretty excited to, get into the DC universe. I heard it's not as good as the Marvel universe, which is understandable because the Marvel universe is really, really good. And I'm excited to get into it and see for myself if I like the DC universe. I heard it's kind of on rocky ground, though. Like, it might not be, it might not be a thing for much longer, but, it should be fun to check out and see. So, got Man of Steel. Excited to start watching that one. And this next one I picked up is because I got it for $12, and it's 3 movies in one. And like I said, you guys know I love to get my my movie packs and get as much bang for my buck as possible. I got the Star Trek Reboot Collection, all 3 of the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies, with Star Trek Into Darkness, and Star Trek Beyond. I got all 3 of them on DVD for $12. It's a really, really good deal, and I'm really, really excited to have them. I had seen clips of the first Star Trek movie, but never actually sat down and watched it. Now, my Star Trek knowledge is very vague. I'm much more of a Stargate and Star Wars guy. But I do want to get into Star Trek more, and I thought this would be a great entry point, especially for as cheap as it was, into the universe. I know this is not the canon timeline, this is an alternate timeline, which it explains very well at the very beginning of the very first Star Trek, and it does a really good job of explaining it, especially if you have some knowledge of Star Trek, because when I was growing up, my parents owned some Star Trek movies on VHS that I used to watch. We had Star Trek First Contact and Star Trek, not Nemesis. Nemesis was the later one. Insurrection? Maybe that was, I think it might have been Insurrection. Star Trek Insurrection and Star Trek First Contact. We had on VHS. And I used to watch that, plus Star Trek 3, Search for Spock. Maybe that's 4, 3 or 4. I used to watch those a lot. So I have some Star Trek knowledge, not a whole lot. I've never seen any of the TV shows, but I'd really, really like to, and that's what I want to get into. But I do have some Star Trek knowledge, so I wanted to get this series here to check out the alternate timeline, see how I like it, and you know, get into some Star Trek. So I really did like the first Star Trek movie. I'm not a huge fan of J.J. Abrams' style when he directs, with the lens flare and the incredible reliance on CGI, but it's not a bad movie. I really like the first Star Trek movie. I'm really excited to check out Into Darkness and Beyond, and yeah, seem like pretty good movies. Alright, so now let's get into the Blu-rays. So I've got a lot of stuff on Blu-ray here, and I'll just go in the order I picked them up in. So the first thing I picked up is a movie that I really, really wanted just because I'm a fan of the director, and I've seen their other movie that I really, really liked. So I wanted to get this, and this is Annihilation. Now I saw this when it first came out. I rented it, and it was a really, really good movie. It's by the same person that made Ex Machina, and Ex Machina is a fantastic movie. It's a really good sci-fi movie, very... it's got a really cool style to it, and it's kind of like a mind twist sci-fi movie, which I really like those styles, and it keeps you thinking, which is something I really appreciate. So going into Annihilation, I kind of expected the same thing, and for the most part I got this sort of same experience that I was hoping for. It does provide you with a movie where you're constantly thinking, and it provides you with an interesting story that's not really been done before. However, I don't think the story was as good as it was in Ex Machina. I really like Ex Machina a lot more. Annihilation's really good regardless, but I think Ex Machina was better. So I got the Blu-ray version of this. I actually got this used from Family Video. It's a rental chain, and they actually sell movies for super cheap, man. Now, the downsides of getting used movies from Family Video is you only get one copy, where it says at the top here, it says Blu-ray, DVD, digital. I only got the Blu-ray. I did not get the DVD or digital. So that's the downside. But you do get the case, and if you get the Blu-ray, it's probably going to be in perfect shape, because Blu-rays are incredibly durable. And yeah, I got this for $6, which at the time when I bought it, it was still going for $20 in every store and on Amazon and stuff. So, really good way to get used movies that are new is to go to your rental chain and pick them up that way, because they're able to sell them super cheap. So, picked up Annihilation, really big fan of that movie. I like that one a lot. Alright, so the next thing I picked up is actually another pack of movies, and this is a Blu-ray collection, and something that I've really wanted to check out. Now, I picked up the Friday the 13th collection. This is 8 Friday the 13th movies. This is all of the Friday the 13th movies, but it doesn't include Jason X or Freddy vs. Jason. So it pretty much has all of them except for those two, because those two are considered separate. So I've seen the first two in this series. I've never seen any of the others. But I'm really, really excited to get and watch these, just because, number one, it's almost Halloween. Number two, Friday the 13th Part 3 is where Jason gets his mask. And I'm interested to see how that happens. And I really want to see how far this series goes, because I've really only watched 1/4 of the series, and there's a lot of movie left. and I'm interested to see what happens and how it keeps, like how things keep evolving and you know, stuff like that. But I did get them all on Blu-ray, which is really nice, and it comes in this really nice Blu-ray pack. No artwork on the discs, as with most of these, but really happy to have them. I think they all have special features, which is really nice. Because sometimes in these multi-packs, you'll get a basic version of the movie where you don't get any special features, but these are the full Blu-ray versions, so you get all the special features on every disc, which is cool. And actually, one thing I'm really interested in is Friday the 13th Part 3 actually comes with a 3D version that you can watch. But you have to have the lenticular red-blue glasses to watch them, which I don't have any and didn't come with any. So, cool to have. Maybe I'll try to get some 3D glasses and watch that sometime, but who knows. Interesting nonetheless, so have that. And now the next two things I got are Steelbooks, and I'm super excited for these. These are two things that I really, really wanted and have been waiting for them to come out. So, the first thing that I picked up is the Deadpool 2 Steelbook. I'm a huge fan of the Deadpool movies. I saw them both in theaters, and I have both of the Steelbooks, both of the launch Steelbooks, because there's now a Deadpool Steelbook that's not the one that they had the limited edition of when it first came out. And so I have that one, and I have this one, which is their only one for now. But I got this on 4K Blu-ray, and it also comes with the normal Blu-ray and digital. So one thing I'm noticing about movies now is they're starting to move away from including DVD copies. They're actually starting to phase out DVDs, which is quite surprising. Not to say that you can't buy DVD copies of every movie yet. You can still buy individual DVD copies of every movie. So they're not completely dead yet, but they're starting to die finally. And I say that because when I was looking in the store, there was a lot of Blu-ray copies that normally when you see a Blu-ray copy, they come with DVDs, and 4K come with Blu-rays. A lot of the new Blu-ray copies that I'm seeing coming out are just Blu-ray and just digital, no DVD copy included. So my guess is they're starting to phase out DVD and starting to try to push 4K like hardcore. That being said, all of the collector's editions are only being offered in 4K now. So this is a 4K Blu-ray, even though I don't have a 4K player yet, but it's also got the Blu-ray, so that's okay. And yeah, I just thought that was very interesting. So let's look at the Steelbook. You have this really, really nice artwork on the front here, and on the back you have some more artwork with Juggernaut, which is really, really cool. On the inside, my favorite thing about this collection is there's actually some disc art on here. And they have little hashtags on here like new format rocks for the 4K, and on the Blu-ray it says going strong since '06 on the Blu-ray. So they've got some cool little things on the disc art, which makes it a little special. And now, one other interesting thing is it seems that the Super Duper Cut, which is their extended edition of Deadpool 2, is offered on separate discs for both Blu-ray and 4K. So you have your normal Blu-ray with your normal length feature film, you have your extended edition Blu-ray, you have your extended edition 4K, and you have your normal length 4K. So that's a lot of discs in here. So you get the same movie 4 times, 5 times if you include digital. So that's crazy. I'm not sure which disc the extras are going to be on. My guess is it probably have the extras on the Super Duper Cut, but I don't know. But yeah, that's the Deadpool 2 Steelbook. I'm really happy to have that. The last thing I picked up is one that you've probably guessed that I would pick up eventually, and that is Solo, a Star Wars story. So this is the Steelbook for Solo. It's got interesting artwork on it. It seems, as of this Steelbook, they've definitely moved away from trying to match the other Steelbooks. The spine is different, and everything is pretty much different about it. My Last Jedi Steelbook still tried to follow The Force Awakens and the previous Steelbooks of the New Hope and stuff, but it kind of moved away more than Force Awakens did. This one completely moves away from their little, face on the front type deal, and it's basically just doing its own thing at this point. So Got the Steelbook here. The inside, you've got the 4K, because this is a 4K edition. Like I said, all the Steelbooks, all the special editions are only 4K now. Got 4K, you've got the Blu-ray version, and then you've got your Blu-ray special features here separately. So really cool. You've also got some background artwork of the Millennium Falcon going into hyperspace. So very nice Steelbook. I'm really happy to have this now. My opinions on Solo are, it's a decent movie, but it's not as good as Rogue One, and I think that it's better than The Last Jedi and Force Awakens. I think that the spin-off movies have been a pleasant surprise for me when it comes to the quality of the movies and how much I like them, but I still didn't enjoy Solo as much as I had hoped. And I think part of the reason was because I was still coming off of The Last Jedi when I first watched it in theaters, and I was still a little disappointed in The Last Jedi. Not to say that I'm not one of the people that hates The Last Jedi. I think it's a decent sci-fi movie. I just don't think it's a great Star Wars movie. And it's not for the reasons you think. I just don't think the story was there. I think the story was incredibly weak. Not a lot really happened in The Last Jedi. And I feel like there was a lot of wasted time on some scenes that didn't need to be there. It didn't focus on the things that I had hoped it focused on. It focused a lot more on big battles and explosions, which are great to look at and fun to watch. But when it comes to the episodes, I really want more character story. And we didn't get a lot of that in The Last Jedi, especially when it comes to the returning cast from the originals. We really learned very little about what was going on with Luke and Princess Leia and Han Solo during the times that were, absent, which, I mean, would have been fine, but they didn't really give any new story to Rey or Finn or any of that either. There was very little character development or progression through that movie, and I was a little disappointed. And so going into Solo, I was already a little hesitant on whether I should even see this in theaters. And I went and saw it, and it's a good movie, and I really like it. It does a really good job of explaining the backstory of Han Solo, and it's a really fun, enjoyable movie. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what it was. There's something that just didn't make me enjoy it as much as I used to. Maybe, I don't know. But it's a good movie, and I'm really happy to have it, and I think it's the second best movie that they've come out with since the Disney acquisition. First being Rogue One, second Han Solo, and then Force Awakens and The Last Jedi would be the least. I think they did a great job. Really nice Steelbook, very pretty Steelbook. So that's everything that I picked up. Let me know what you guys think in the comment box below. I try to watch everything that I pick up, and I have finished watching Stargate. So let me know in the comment box below if you're interested in a full review of the entire Stargate franchise, because I finished watching the entire franchise, and I'm really, really impressed, and I was really, really enjoying that. So let me know what you guys think in the comment box below. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys next time. Peace.